you're running a retargeting campaigns, budgeting is more important than your audience, than your creative, and even the campaigns itself. Budgeting and retargeting is not a simple strategy, even though you can do it really quickly. But if you don't take care of the things I'm going to explain here, your campaigns can be spending 3, 4, 5 times more than it should, and maybe you're losing a lot of money and you're not getting the money you want. To make it easier to understand, let's go through this analogy of buckets. So basically, we're going to think about a simple campaign on Facebook that starts with video view, lead generation, and objection handling offer ads. And the way it works is quite simple. We start with a video view campaign, so we send videos to people, and based on the audience created on the video views, we send them to a lead generation campaigns. The lead generation campaigns, based on the way they behave, which means as soon as they become leads, they go to objection handling offer campaigns. And then we have a fallback over here, which means that people who come from those two buckets, they can fall down and go into a third, fourth audience for retargeting. So I'm going to explain with a simple concept with water. So we drop water in the first bucket, which means video views. We have a lot of people watching our videos. So the bucket starting filling up. As the bucket fills up, it gets to a level where the retargeting starts. So the audience for the first one start pouring on the second bucket, and the second bucket starting filling up, and when it reaches a certain level, it goes to the next bucket, and then the same happens. And what is beautiful about this funnel is that it can explain every single concept we ever need to understand about retargeting and budgeting. So you can ask, how do I set the budget for my campaigns without, and here is the problem that can happen. If your budget is too much, you're gonna have budget wastage. So the bucket is going to fill more than it can handle, and then you're gonna have budget wastage. So you're gonna lose people forever that you spend your money to get them in the first place. But if you don't spend enough money, instead you're going to spend money here. So if you don't spend here, you need to spend here. Why? Because there's a pump that sends water through the pump and through the pipe to go to lead generation campaigns. And this pump is expensive. I'm going to explain to you in technical terms just so you can understand how you can implement that. So we need numbers to really analyze how each of those campaigns, retargeting campaigns, are going to work and how do we set the budget. Let's assume the first number we need is a CPM. So we need CPM for each campaign. So the first one, let's say it's $5, which is a normal CPM for video view campaigns. The second CPM, let's say that it's quite nice CPM for lead generation, which is $40. And the third one, which is objection handler, let's assume that you have enough volume, and the CPM for the third campaigns is around $60. So what we do now is simple. You just need to define your total budget. Let's say that our total budget is $100. And then what you need to do is to just fill up the spreadsheet I gave down below. Click on the link and you fill the spreadsheet. You're going to have all the values based on 3 different things: the total budget, the percentage viewed on the video, and the CPM for each of those phases. But the problem is, if you download the spreadsheet, you can understand and use in a specific scenario similar to this one. But if you need anything else, it doesn't work. So what you do is you stick to the video, watch it to the end until you can really understand how it works, so you can apply anywhere and everywhere that you ever need. Oh, and if you're not, please hit the subscribe button. It's really amazing when you do it, and hit the like as well. I think the like button, it glows. Smash the like button. It glows when I say something like that. So yeah, hit the like button and subscribe. Let's start from the start. Let's say I want to use $20 for my video view campaigns. And what's going to happen is, because the CPM is $5, I'm going to reach 5,000 people. And when I reach 5,000 people, let's say that 20% is going to reach a certain amount of percentage of view, and I'll be able to retarget those people. So let's say that I want people who watch 75% of my video. So we can assume, let's say, to make it easier, I'll do 25%. So 8,000 people, 25% of the people who watch my video have watched 75%. And this is my retargeting audience. So out of 4,000 people, I'm gonna retarget 8,000 here on the lead generation campaigns. And here is where the tricky part comes in. This audience is a video view 75% 7-day audience, which means that it is going to retargeting everyone that was on this bucket and they watched 75% of the video from the past 7 days. So we need to define the audience size. Budgeting is all about audience size. So the audience size is this one we define here. So we are assuming that we're going to have 8,000 people every single day. So our total audience is going to be 7,000 people. Great, now what do we do? So we have our 7,000 audience and we want to retarget on our lead generation campaigns. And for us to do that, one of the best way to think is we do not want in any way, shape or form to target 7,000 people every single day. And the reason is simple. You need to understand how bidding works. If you understand how bidding works, everything else in CPM becomes easy to understand as well. So if you stop and think with me, if you have a group of 5 people that you want to retarget, that's just an example, and you want to retarget, the first person is going to be really easy to retarget. Why? The way Facebook, Google, and every single platform works is they check the probability of this person coming back to the app during the day. So if, for example, you open your YouTube, your TikTok, your Instagram, or anything, the first thing that is going to appear is the one that you have the most probability of engaging. Great, so that one is cheaper. Let's say the CPM for the first one is going to be $5. So when things start to go difficult is when you saturate your audience, because the probability of those people joining and doing what you need and you winning the bidding decreases as your audience gets lower. So you might pay $10 for the second one, $20 for the third, $60 for the fourth, and for the last one, the CPM for this one is going to be 200. And the reason again is, in a group of 5 people, the first one is 1 out of 5. So you have 5 options and you just need to find one. The second one is 1 out of 4. The third, 1 out of 3. The last one is you just have one shot. So Facebook is going to increase the bidding as much as they can. We don't want that to happen. So instead, what you're going to do is, instead of targeting 7,000 people, we want to target, this is a magic number that I kind of found, you want to target 50% of the audience per day maximum. Obviously, some people are going to receive your ads twice, 3 times a day. Other people are not going to receive your ads, and that's okay. But by reaching 5% of your audience, you can actually get the most qualified people with the cheaper costs. So every single day, you don't increase your CPM. Because if you want to get all of them, your CPM is going to be skyrocket. So between, let's say, 30 and 60% is a good number. For what? Rodrigo, I don't understand. What do you mean? The CPM is 40, right? So every 1,000 people per mil, every 1,000 people we pay $40. And here we have 3.5 thousand. So what we're gonna do is, let's target 3,000 to make it simple. We're gonna use $120 per day on the lead generation campaigns to target half that audience. So again, let's come back to it. You have a video view with a CPM of 5, and we are, the audience of this one is unlimited. because this audience is gigantic and you don't have the budget. If you run $100 a day, you don't have the budget to get it done right. So okay, you have a limited audience, which is one. The second one, the audience is 7,000 based on the first one. So I said that our budget is $100 a day, but we have 120 here. So the math, we doing the calculations, it says that we need to use $120 per day. What do we do now? We need to change the one. So we need to reduce the budget on the first campaigns because the budget here was $20. Again, I'm reviewing here just so we can grasp everything. The budget was $20, which means we can find 4,000 people per day, but only 25% use the video until a certain point that you want to retarget. So it's 1,000 people per day, which means that every week you get 7,000 people for the retargeting audience. And you want to target half this audience just so your CPM is not going to skyrocket. And if we do the math, we're gonna reach $120 a day. So what we do is, okay, so we need to reduce this number here. So if we get to $10, what happens is instead of 120, we need to spend $60 a day. Oh, great, that's nice, but let's keep those numbers just so everything else is going to check out. $20, great. And before we move to the next one, there's something I need to tell you. Video view campaigns are tricky. So you might have, for example, you run a video and you have 100 views, but only 5% is going to qualify as the target you want. So they watch the whole video, which means that either your video is boring, the audience is off, or maybe it's just that your video is really niched and you really want to limit people instead of open. You say stuff that only the really target people are going to watch the end, which is good. So you might have a 5% audience watching the whole video, which is going to change those numbers here because I say 25%. So if this was 5%, this number would be divided by 4. So instead of 120, we would have $30 a day for lead generation and $20 a day for review. So you need to keep in mind how those stuff work. And if, for example, I had campaigns like this, if you have a video that actually has 120% of the target audience that you have, which means you're hitting a few shares here and there, it's also going to change your budget. So you're going to have a lot of views. You might want to qualify using a second layer of video view campaigns before sending the lead generation campaigns. So these budgets and these percentage, they are completely arbitrary and can be different based on how you do it. So don't worry if those numbers don't check out. The only number you need to be aware is the CPM. If your CPM is off, it needs to get close to numbers similar to those ones I'm showing. Because video view, it can go from 1 to 8, and that's okay. Lead generation from 20 to 70, and that's okay. And the last one, we can discuss that one right now. Great, now we move into the last part of the funnel. And one thing that you might be able to realize now is, before we build anything, before we start building, we need to see everything, the present and the past and the future, so we can see exactly what's going to happen. And this ability to draw and to understand how each step of the funnel works is going to help you with one thing that is amazing, which is if you build and then you realize what's going to happen, you're always going to have something that's going to break. But if you draw, if you build, if you plan, you're going to be able to see exactly, oh wait, so this is the thing that is going to happen 3 months from now. Yes, and you also be able how to understand how those parts interact and how they fit with each other. So it's important to always have a clear understanding of what the funnel is, how does it work, how it does not work, which is more important at all. So now we will be targeting the lead generation campaigns and we send people to a sign up page, and this sign up page, let's say that we have an audience of 7,000 people, but our budget only allows us to hit 3,500 people. So we have 3,500 people, let's say we have a 2% click-through rate, so we have 70 clicks per day, and we have a normal conversion rate on that sign up page. So we're gonna have, let's say, 25% conversion from clicks to leads, which means we're gonna have about 18 leads a day. Now you ask the question, what is the size of this audience for the retargeting? Again, this audience is for leads. The size of this audience is, if we want to run the campaign for 7 days, which means a retargeting of 7 days, is going to be 126 people that are going to retarget, which means that the CPM for this campaign is going to be really high. And possibly you're not even going to run the campaign because you need 100 people, and not always those people are going to match on Facebook's data. So you need at least 200 people to really run a good retargeting. A simple retargeting campaign that's going to have a really high CPM. So for a campaign of that side, we're talking about $300 CPM, which those people are not qualified enough for us to run a CPM that high. So what we do is we increase the audience size. A 30-day audience is 500 people, which is great because they just sign up to something you do and you can retarget them. That's an audience that is big enough for us to reach them with our ads without saturating the audience. And again, I spoke about the budget we have is going to influence how much we saturate the audience. But the problem is, here is small, the first one, 7 days, is so small that it doesn't matter what you do, it is going to be saturated because it is too small. So if we want to run a 30 days retargeting campaign for leads, which for most business that's a good size, what we're going to do is we're going to have 440. And let's suppose our CPM is 60, which means that if we want to reach half the audience, we're going to spend, again, if it was 1,000, it would be 60. If it's 500, 30. But what we want to do is to reach half the audience size. So our audience is 540, and the budget to reach that audience, which is 250 people, half the audience, is actually $15 a day. So our budget is $15. Great, now you have everything you need to run your campaigns. There's one last thing that is important. The question is, Nask, how do I optimize my budget just so I won't overspend or underspend? Which means that we overflow the budget and we lose those people forever, or maybe we just have a small audience and we need to use the pump, increase the CPM and reducing the results. So you just need to check always what is the size of the audience, as well as how much budget do you need to reach half that audience. If you always match the right amount of people, which means half the audience, with the budget you have, based on the CPM you have, you are always going to be in an optimal performance. Because again, if you lose those people here, they're going to drop in the void. You're going to lose them forever. If you lose people here on the lead generation campaigns, if they overflow, or for example, we're talking about here on this last, we have a fourth bucket here, if you haven't seen it, but we have a fourth small bucket, bowl, I think it's a bowl. If you lose, for example, we are converting 25% of people that we send to the sign up page. We can retarget the 75% here in another bucket. And if we lose people here, we can recapture them. If we lose there, we lose forever. But if we lose here, they come over here and great, they build a new audience and you can create a new bucket to retarget them. If we lose people here, so they are over the 30 days, what we do? We can create a third bucket that we don't want, for example, 30 days and they are not clients yet. So what we do, we want a $20 CPM. How? You use bidding control on Facebook. Because you know that you want to be able to still be there for Facebook in the people you can see. You can change the audience, you can send videos, so you reduce the CPM for 5, but you want to send targeted ads to everyone that has a possibility of becoming a client. So if you lose them here, you can just send to another bucket, a smaller bucket with less budget, with a less CPM, and then you can have the full control of your retargeting. So we started with a $20 budget for video view, $120 for lead generation, And we finally found that we need $15 for retargeting. Oh wow, that's it? Yes, now let me tell you something. We have an audience size of 540. Yes, let's go one step further. Let's suppose that we have an audience with the size of 540, and out of those people, that on our example, these are leads, and 30% become sales qualified leads, which means we're talking about 200 people. What's going to happen is they went into a sales call, and now we have a negotiation in process. So let's say we have a 30% conversion, and then the negotiation, which means something that they are still trying to convert, we have a audience size of 70. What do? We need to retarget them, but we can't on Facebook because Facebook requires 100 people. What do? You step up one level. So you send ads that are targeted to those people, but completing the audience with those ones. So the CPM for these people, they had sales engagement, they are qualified. We want the CPM to be high. We're talking about 200 CPM. We can say, for example, we can use a $10 a day. Let's say 20. We want to use $20 a day for a CPM of 200. So we're going to reach 100 people a day, but those people are qualified. And the thing is, because we are mixing two different audiences, we have a 35% chance of finding the right person. So actually the CPM is 540, 560 or something similar. Can you follow that? Let me summarize. This is going to summarize the whole video into a simple step-by-step process. You start with a video view campaigns. A CPM of 5 is a kind of good CPM for a video view campaigns. And then we move to the next stage. We have a lead generation campaign with a $40 CPM. Great. We move to an offer campaign with a $60 CPM. It can be 80 as well. This is more qualified than this one over here. And then we move to a last campaign with a sales qualified leads. So we can increase the budget for this one for $200. We can talk about audience of past customers, referrals, and things like that, having really high CPMs because the probability of them become customers is really high. Finally, we start the funnel with lower quality leads, quality people. They become leads, and then they become more qualified leads. So the quality increases, and the CPM also increases. So the CPM is lower here, and the quality is higher here. So it has an inverse relation. As the more qualified they are, the more costly they also are. Which means that if you start a lead generation campaign that is really targeted, it's going to have a really high CPM. If you have a big budget, if you don't have a big budget, we're talking about numbers similar to this one. Great, so you have everything you need. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button and the like as well, and I think you might have a video similar to this one or there or somewhere on the screen, which I'm not sure yet what it should be. And I really like, and if you have any questions regarding that, especially for the spreadsheet, to calculate all of this concept for you, just drop a comment and click on the link, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers!